Oh, let's see. Main event time. Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Title. So, these guys had to follow the ladder match and Ospreay and Danielson. And they made a valiant effort. And Swerve comes out with his Killmonger costume. I wrote there's a Black Panther costume, and there's reminded it was actually Killmonger wore the black and gold in that movie. And also wearing Jimmy Rave's robe, which is both purple and gold. And this whole place is going nuts. Chanting, whose house, Swerve's house, whose house, Swerve's house. And the match begins, and Joe hits one knee to the gut. And it's like every fan of that building took a knee to the gut, and their wind was knocked out of them. I don't know if I've ever seen a wrestling move quiet a crowd so quickly. It's like, ooh, that's like it sucked. So, the match is very basic. It's Samoa Joe being big and scary, beating the hell out of this dude, as he is wont to do. There's a few spots where Joe accidentally clotheslines the post and Swerve's working the arm for a while, but basically it's just Joe destroying him. And it really gets good when Swerve hits the house call, Swerve Stomp gets 2. Actually, before that, Joe gets a muscle buster for a near fall. He's desperate. He's furious. He grabs his belt and brings it into the ring. But Swerve hits a house call, and they keep doing stuff. Each guy tries to use the belt and fails. Joe gets the choke. The belt is sitting there in the middle of the ring. The ref doesn't care. So Swerve escapes this choke, hits an arm snapper to the bad arm, and then he has moment number 1. His first moment is when he's alone, essentially alone in the ring with this belt. Because Joe's down, holding his arm, the rest checking on Joe. And it's just Swerve and the title belt. And Swerve introduces himself, essentially. And the match continues. A couple more near falls. They end up on the top rope. Swerve jumps over him, pulls him down in a powerbomb, goes up to the top rope, and then it's time for Swerve moment number 2. Because at this point, everyone knows Swerve is about to do a Swerve Stomp, pin Samoa Joe, and win this AEW World Title. And when I say everyone knows, I include Swerve Strickland in that everyone. And he is letting that sink in. And he's pausing and delaying and breathing it in and living it. And he jumps and he stomps. And the ref counts 3. And speaking of 3, that is Swerve moment number 3. He has won now. All he's done, all his work, all his sacrifice, all the horrible, evil, vile, cruel things this man has done, worth it in the end. He is your AEW World Champion. And he is like blubbering. he's virtually sobbing as they present this belt to him. And he felt like a true champion and a hero. And this was like a good TV main event in a pay-per-view main event spot, but the moments afterwards made the whole thing worth it.
I actually thought the match itself was very good. Joe was just on fire in this match. He was 1993 Vader. He even did the clubbering forearms and he hit the post. But I think actually, I don't know this for sure, but I think the finish was not what it was supposed to be. I think when they were on the very top, Swerve was going to do a top rope stomp on Joe.
I see.
As Joe was sitting there.
Gotcha.
But he jumped over him. And so Joe didn't sell it because Swerve jumped so high he went over him. And so he landed on the ground and he immediately ran over and gave him the power bomb. And then he went up top and hit another Swerve stomp and got the pin. But if you remember when they did the spot on Dynamite where he jumped off the post and stomped on everyone's heads that were standing on the ground,
yes.
I think he was going to do that here. But Joe would be sitting there, and he would jump up and then stomp Joe, and Joe would bump down, and that would be the finish. But he missed him, and so to their credit, I don't think most people even noticed because they covered it up great. But when you think about the spot they actually did, it makes no sense. They fought on the top, and Swerve jumped over him, and then gave him another move, and then hit the stomp. It's like, why would you even do that? So I think he was supposed to jump up and stomp him, and then it didn't go as planned. But no Hangman.
Nope.
No MJF. No Angle. Nothing. He beat him clean in the middle of the ring. No interference. He is your new champion. And it was great to see old Swerve get that belt. It sure was.
I mean, thank God there was no Angle. This didn't need an angle. This didn't want an angle. This was just a really beautiful pro wrestling moment. It was a great match. It was good length as well because this was a long pay-per-view as always. Good match. Joe's just amazing. Joe needs to be. Is Joe in the Hall of Fame? If he's not, he needs to be.
You mean the Observer Hall of Fame?
Observer Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't think he is, but
No, well, he needs to be because he's incredible. He's an amazing heel. He is like the end of level baddie. He's the end of game baddie in a computer game. He's incredible, and he's done fantastic work to elevate Swerve, as far as I can see. Not that Swerve needed much elevating, but he's really made this feud work. Look at where Swerve was 18 months ago to where he is now. I just think he's going to be an incredible champion. He's an incredible ambassador for AEW. This was just lovely. And the fact that we got a happy moment at the end, we got the celebration. We didn't need an angle. We didn't need MJF coming back. We didn't need Hangman running it. Just let it breathe. Let it be. They can come back on Dynamite, Collision, whatever. This was fantastic, exactly as it was.
How would you rank this in AEW pay-per-views you've seen?
Oh, this is one of the better ones, I think.
Top tier?
Not the best.
Not the best. Okay. All right.
There was
not the absolute best, but top tier.
4 hours is still too long. There was a lull in the middle where this show would have been better if some of the matches have been shorter, or some may have even been just removed from the pay-per-view entirely. And I'm not saying that because they're terrible matches. Just shows don't all need to go 4 hours. And that being said, for God's sake, buy this show, watch the one match, you'll get your money's worth.
You know, I will say that I didn't think it was too long at all. And part of that was because, you know, they don't waste time between matches. It's like match ends, next match is heading to the ring. Match ends, next match, heading to the ring. With that said, the last hour of this show, I would say from the end of the Danielson match on, I mean, as soon as they did that Danielson angle, they were rushing to get the Young Bucks and FTR in the ring. That match ended, they were rushing to get Samoa Joe and Swerve in the ring. They were trying to get it done in under 4 hours, and they did, but I do think that they would be better served cutting a match. It's okay to only go 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 45 minutes, but cut a match so you don't have to rush there at the end. You know, I don't like too much time in between matches, but it's not like it's anxiety, but when you see them just like rushing to the next match, it's like, fuck, like slow down, dude. Like going a little fast now.
You need a little downtime. Even a 3 hour show, you should have time in between each match to get a glass of water or use a bathroom or whatever.
Yes, just pace it out.
Yes.
Pace out a good 3.5, 3 hour and 45 minute show. Well, Lisa, let's get some plugs in. Tell us about yourself, what you got going on. Anything else on your mind?
Well, I'm on Twitter. You can find me, Lisa Gifford, on Twitter. That's pretty much where I am. I'm currently working hard on EastEnders, which is a BBC show in the UK. So if you watch BBC television, watch EastEnders.
I do regularly, yes.
Sorry?
I do regularly.
Do you? Well, there you go. You need to start watching EastEnders. It's on 4 times a week, so lots to catch up on. And it's 40 years old next year, so there we go.
Wow.
That's me at the moment. That's just keeping me really, really busy.
Excellent. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notify button, and you'll never miss a video again.